Okay, so my name is Ahmed. I am going to record a series of videos that is part of a course for studying Visual Basic.NET, following the syllabus of Cambridge A-Level 9618. And the same course can be also used for people who are studying IGCSE 478 and the O-Level. So we are Visual Basic in Cambridge syllabus. Actually, it is called console-based. So this console-based means that we are going to deal with the console, and the console here means that actually we are dealing with the text-based, not GUI-based. So there is a version of a VB.NET application where you are actually able to make GUI applications with the menus, with the mouse activated, and with text boxes and so on, but and menus. So this is not the case here. So we have to know how to actually print out text to the console, which is this part. And I'm going to be using Replit here for the ease of use. It is slightly slower, but I'm able to share code using it, and it's cloud-based, so it doesn't really depend on too much on my computer. So I'm able to open many things. I'm consuming a lot of RAM by open documentation and books and slides. But that will not get affected here. So because I'm running on the cloud, I'm using a premium Replit account. So okay, so I have unlimited RAM and CPU, and I'm able to run. Should be without an issues. So let me start here. So I'm going to start to show you the first application that we're going to write using Visual Basic, which is using only 2 lines here. So if you are running the code, the same code on your PC using VB.NET compiler from Microsoft, so you will need to use always console.readline, and that is specifically because if you don't use it, mainly your application might run very fast that you don't even able to see the output of it. So it will open something like a CMD or command prompt screen, and it will close it very fast. So you always have to put console.readline, which means that the application will halt running until he receives an input from you through the keyboard. So that will keep the screen open, so you are able to see the output. So this is, so once the application receives an input from you, it means that then the application will continue running this line, and it will off the screen. So, but in our case here, this is not the case. So we will not be using this console.readline. But if you are using VB.NET compiler from Microsoft, then you will need that. Okay, so now let us focus here. The structure that we see in front of our eyes, these 2 parts is actually will be always be with us, where this is the place exactly where we're going to write our statements or command lines from Visual Basic. So this is the name of the module, and this is our submain, and there should be only one submain in your whole application, especially we're talking about Replit here in this case. So if you have other codes in different files, you cannot have different mains. So you have to, this will be your main. If you have another file that have main, so you have to name it main 1, main 2, main 3, and so on, so that you don't conflict the system of the Replit. So, okay, now how to say, so if we whenever we go and explain about function and procedures, we are going to actually write, we will see how we write procedures and functions outside the main area here, which is above, in between the line 1 and 2. So we will be able maybe to press enter and then like that, and then we will put our function and procedure there. At the moment, let us have a look at what this application, simple application, is doing. So this application, we are having one line here. The most important thing is that that will print one line, and this line have a text, a fixed text. So how we mark the text is we mark the text by double quotation. So anything in between the double quotation will actually get executed or printed exactly the same like what we are seeing here. So as you see, whatever we wrote here, hello VP, we are able to see it here exactly the same. So if I enter even spaces here, you will be able to see some dashes or spaces in between, for example, the P and the exclamation mark. So the computer is actually a dumb thing. So it means that he will follow exactly what you request him to do. And he expects you also to give him exact instructions. So if we say that we have to put a dot between the system and the console, you should exactly follow the same, because again, the computer cannot really differentiate, and it's not smart enough to detect that. Yes, we have things like AI, but this is not the case here in programming. In programming, we need to write the exact statement and command that the computer expects, or else he will get confused and he will not be able to understand you, and he will not be executing the command. Okay, so what we want to say here that this system.console.writeLine saying that we are going to write one line at the console, which is a text-based. So can you see here? We printed hello VP. So if I put any spaces like what I said here, like that. So if I put spaces and try to even run, so you will see that I started to have a space. So because again, the computer is dumb, he just follow whatever we give to him. Anything in between double quotation, he will not try to understand it. He will just print it as it is. And never mind this kind of warning, because that is a warning for some of the files that I'm preparing for the class here. So this warning is telling that some variables that I created, actually it is not used. So that is only the thing, but it is a warning, but it doesn't prevent the code from running. As you can see from what I have done here, that you see here there is a button that's called stop. So that this indicates that the program is still waiting for something. So as we said, that this console.readLine is waiting for a user input. So I will try to press and enter. So once I press and enter, if you can see, now the button changed to run again. So it means that he is ready to run the application again. So again, that is only because of the console.readLine. So if I commented that line like that, okay, so that's now I commented that line. So if I run again, so he will print the command, and then he will not wait for an input from me. Okay, so that is the start. So let us have a look about what could be the other possible codes that we are able to test and run. So we will talk about variables now. So I will copy that portion into the main. So we will start talking now about variables, and what is variables, and what is declaration, and what is assignment in variables. So okay, what we're seeing here at the moment is that we're saying define. So dim is telling the compiler of Visual Basic, the one who translates the Visual Basic commands to binary formats, which is a machine code that the computer are able to understand, which is part of ones and zeros bytes that the computer are able to understand. So what we are saying here, that we are telling the compiler, please reserve for me a place in the RAM. And so this is our RAM. So we are telling him by this command, please define a place that can accommodate an integer value in the RAM and name that place number 1. So because we are dealing with Visual Basic, and Visual Basic is a high-level language, so we do not need to deal with addresses directly in the memory. So we are actually dealing with variables. So we don't need, so every location in the memory actually have a number. So the memory inside is actually numbered, and it have an address, same like a house address. So every address that we have for our houses, so you find that every house have a number, and without this number, if you send a parcel somewhere to a certain house, then without this number, the people are not able to deliver the parcel. So the same applies to the memory. Every location in the memory that we are able to store data in must have an address. But again, because Visual Basic is a high-level language, so we are not going to deal with addresses. It's too complicated. So we name the place as a variable with a variable name that's more recognizable for human and more easier for human to remember. And internally, the Visual Basic have a table that say, okay, number 1 variable that the user created actually correspond to which memory location. So maybe the memory location is 1, 2, 3, 4, or something like that. So again, what is concerning to us, that this number 1 variable is going to occupy a space that can accommodate an integer variable in the memory. And this command actually tells the computer, reserve a place for me and put nothing inside it. Okay, so this is what we call a declaration. So we declare that we have 2 variables, number 1 and number 2, of type data type integer in this case, and we will see other data types later. And then on the next command here, we have an assignment operation. This assignment operation is telling, go to the memory place, reserve it for under the name of number 1, and put 3 inside it, inside the RAM. Okay, and here go for place under name number 2, okay, and put 5 inside it. Okay, so this is how you assign data inside the variable. This is how we take whatever you put on the right hand side and store it on whatever on the left hand side. Okay, so this is the basic here about data variables. Let me try to clean the screen, and then we move to explain the next. Okay, so let us carry that. Let me see if we have, okay, yeah. So, okay, so we have many ways. If we have multiple integers like that, that is defined in multiple lines, so we are defining index as a variable name of data type integer. So inside the RAM, we have index, grade, and counter, 3 variables, three different variables, occupy 3 different spaces in the RAM. Each one of them will be able to carry data of an integer type. Okay, and we will see how the integer data type looks like. So the integers, an example. So 10 is an integer, 100 is an integer. So we see no dot or no decimal points. So integers does not have any decimal points. So this is what our variable are actually able to accommodate or store in the RAM. Okay, we have a maximum value, and we will see the code in the next 3 or 4 minutes about that. So at the moment, we would like to tell you that there is a way actually that you can define multiple variables also on the same line. So an alternative for writing 3 lines like that, we can save time, and we can define index grade counter as integer using one dim, okay, and using one as int instead of writing them in 3 different lines like that. So that definitely will save time. So that is a way of grouping the declaration of variables in one line. Okay, I hope this is clear. So if we want to run, we're still able to run here. Let me try to run. So there will be no output here in this case, just only how to say these warnings. Okay, so again, this warning is about variables that is not used. In this case, there is no worries in our case. What we want to say that if we would like to actually remove the comment here, so actually the Visual Basic does not allow us, and in most of the programming language like that, they don't allow you to define a variable name 2 times within your code. So you cannot define 2 variables called name index. It have to be 1 only. And that's why I was commenting that line. So either I define it this way or this way. So to be able to see if we are going to get an error or not, so I will start to actually make a comment for the above and see if there is an error or not. So at the moment, there is no errors, and I'm able to actually clear the screen here. So what if I just remove the comment from here? Let me see if there is an error. So yeah, so can you see here the build failed? So it's failed because of what? If I see here, okay, so he is telling me that, okay, so yeah, the error is actually here. So line number 8, okay, he's telling there is an error in line number 8. So this is how the error looks like. This in yellow actually is not errors, it's warnings, okay? And you can neglect that at the moment because it's just a warning. So can you see that? It's a warning. It's a warning here. It's a warning. All this is warnings, but this is an error here, okay? So we have to, yeah, if there is an error, we have to look at the source of the error and we try to fix it because we cannot run with an error. So, okay, what he's saying here is that local variable counter is already declared. So, okay, you see counter? He said he's already declared, and then he does not accept that you declare it here on line number 8. That's why he's telling you here on line number 8, there is an error. So he tell you the line, and here he tell you the position of the character, the start of the character where there is an issue. Okay, so again, how can we remove that error? For example, I can remove the counter from here. So we will see if there is an error or not. So there is no more error. Okay, as you see, the error disappeared because I already removed the counter from being declared again. So it's only declared here once. And then I use this method to actually declare the index and grade. And I already commenting them. Commenting means when I'm commenting something means that I ask the Visual Basic not to execute that line. So commenting means I'm not going to execute that line. So the Visual Basic compiler will just ignore that. Okay. So this will be as a start, and I will continue producing more videos for this course. And if you would like to actually purchase this course from me to get advanced videos and lectures, then you can contact me on the WhatsApp I left. So for early bird booking, I'm giving a certain discount. So you can apply for that now and receive the advanced features. Okay, see you. If you like, please, if you like the video, please write to me, write a comment. And if you would like, if you have comment about the videos or there is something that is not clear to you, please ask the questions in the comment and subscribe to my channel. Okay, bye-bye.